Welcome to the Sidenote Podcast. I'm Chris, and joining me
I'm
is
Michael.
Michael. It's our first episode, and we're kind of just gonna do a little rundown of what the podcast is and what we hope for it to kind of be. I guess you can tell a little bit about each other, Michael. You go first.
Just a little bit about myself. Well, we're trying to make this more of a gaming podcast. So, I think it's fair to say both me and Chris are gamers. I won't speak for you, Chris, but I grew up on Nintendo games, so that's kind of my background. I believe you started with the PS2.
Yep.
And I personally would consider myself a collector. If you see my game room, you can see there's quite a few games in here where we're recording. I play pretty much everything from the N64 to current.
Yeah, of the two of us, you're definitely someone that plays more of the older games. I'm more of a modern type person, but compared to my game collection, you have you have a much larger selection of
Mine's is
older
more
games.
defined
More
as
of
a
variety.
collection.
More of a variety too, definitely.
Yours is, I would say, I wouldn't really call you a collector. You're just
A
somebody
library.
who has a lot of games.
It's a
Mine's
library.
is definitely a collection. Seeing as a lot of these games I bought because, they're games I'd want to play. I haven't played all of these games that I have in my collection.
That's kind of
but
how it is for me too.
I enjoy a lot of the games that I have played, and yeah, I'm a gamer. Chris is a gamer. This is probably mostly going to be a gaming podcast. We've been talking about it for a while about making this.
we originally, the plan was to have an additional member, but it's been a little bit too difficult to schedule some stuff to get them arranged here. We still would eventually like to see him on an episode, so fingers crossed he's going to appear eventually on here. Just as it stands, it's just me and Michael, and hopefully it's like that just for a little bit of time. We have some other friends we'd like to get on here as well, but as it stands right now, it's just going to be us two for just a little bit of time. But I would say, growing up, I had the PS2, and I wasn't really much of a big type of player, and I usually like to just I remember going to GameStop, really just picking up any game that looked cool and kind of just
Same here.
I'd buy the game if it looked cool, if my parents let me, if I didn't need to be 8 or 17 to buy it or need my parents' permission. Like I remember picking up Hitman Blood Money, and I think I kept thinking for the longest time, by the way, Grand Theft Auto was rated R. I didn't know that
Rated R.
I didn't know that R and the star was a Rockstar symbol. I didn't know that. I didn't know what
Gotcha.
that was. So I was like, "No, it's rated R. I can't get it." I kept saying that for the longest time, and but yeah, nowadays though, I'm more so just buy kind of like the mainstream stuff that comes out continuously. But like one thing I am excited for is Far Cry 5 coming out. I think in a month, or actually at this point, I think it's like 2 weeks or so. Far Cry 5's coming out. And also the first Civilization 6 DLC, the big game-changing one, Rise and Fall, I want to say. I'm really looking forward to that, but it's going to be a lot of money. It's another $90 combined. I don't know if I want to get Far Cry 5, though, for the PC, if I want to get for the Xbox One. Because, I don't know. I'm not really sure which...
Is there a co-op in it?
I don't know. Well, in every Far Cry, there is an online version. Well, there's an online competitive aspect in every Far Cry, but there's also, I think a co-op, like 2-player online, which is usually pretty fun. But I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. Because I'd like to really stretch the bounds of my computer and try, making the game look really pretty. But I'm not really sure, per se, if I'd rather get it on the Xbox to, like, talk to everyone when I do it, or PC for the more, like, graphical immersion type deal. But I'm not. And then Civ 6 I'm excited for as well, because in the new DLC, they actually have kind of like loyalty for your cities and stuff.
You're a big Civ guy.
Yeah, I am a very, very big Civ guy. It's almost like a meme in our friend group. Because I think at the time of this recording, I think I have 1,100 hours in it. And it's Civ 5, sorry. And then Civ 6, I have, I think, under 100 hours. But Civ 5 held a special part in my soul. Like, before that game, it was, I don't know, that game, like, opened up so many new, like,
Yeah, I remember
likings for me.
you weren't much of a PC gamer, but that was like used to be for the longest time the one PC game that you played.
Because I remember my friend Joe. I was talking to two of my friends, Josiah and Joe, and they're talking to me about what game I should get for the Steam sale. And this was many years ago. This was like, I think 9th grade, maybe 8th grade, maybe the summer.
I feel like it was like 8th grade.
And they told me to get Civ 5, and I remember starting the game while they were playing, or while I was talking to them. And I just got I sucked terrible. And then I oh my gosh, I remember I made
There's
a world.
quite the learning curve to it.
I made a world, did terrible on it, and kept making new worlds. Eventually got it. I came back a couple hundred hours later on that first world, and I just decimated everyone. Like, I was just amazing. And but anyways, in the Civ 6 DLC that they add, I think it's City Loyalty and also Dark Ages. And Golden Ages are actually like meaningful, because originally in Civ 5 and Civ 6, Golden Ages, I don't even think in Civ 6 Golden Ages are a thing, but in Civ 5 Golden Ages give you bonuses, just all your yields in your cities. And in Civ 6 they're actual like eras, like they're like things happen during the eras. And Dark Ages, there's also like things happening, and I think there were like challenges to get you out of your Dark Age, I think, or you get points for like completing like accomplishments during those times. And that's another big thing. Accomplishments, or whatever they're called, like I don't know what the word is, like achievements or something, are a big deal for your civilization. But it looks really cool, so I'm looking forward to it. And there's a bunch of new civilizations, and definitely looks interesting. Anything coming out soon that you're looking at or following?
Not really. They did a what's the word for it? They did a Nintendo Direct recently that was kind of underwhelming. But they called it a mini direct, so people are saying that there might be a bigger direct. So I'm kind of hoping that happens.
A direct,
like it's Nintendo's kind of like their own version of E3, where they just announce a bunch of stuff.
Do they go to E3 themselves though, or no?
They still go to E3, but they announced. I'm trying to remember everything they announced. There was nothing particularly pertaining to me that amazed me. But I thought it was funny because me and Drew were talking about Rabbids versus like the Mario and Rabbids game, Kingdom Battle. I haven't played it. He has it. It's like a XCOM like kind of game.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird for a Rabbids game. That's not something I imagine from a Rabbids game.
Or a Mario game.
Yeah.
It's a really weird game, but like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Basically, me and Drew were having a conversation about like there's a extreme lack of characters in that game. There's Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and then there's a Rabbid version of each of them. And then there's various enemies you fight. But those are the 8 characters you get to play as in the game. Okay. And me and Drew were like, oh, they should add some they should probably add some cool characters for DLC. And I was like, because there's a big monster bunny enemy called the Goliath. I was like, they should make Donkey Kong, and then his rabbit equivalent should be the Goliath, and that'd be really sweet. And they didn't announce They did announce Donkey Kong. They didn't announce a Rabbid version of him for DLC, which looks kind of cool, but I don't have the game, so I'm not as excited as I could be. I'm kind of hoping for this next direct that they announce like something Pikmin related, because I really love my Pikmin, as you can see by the poster here. Looking forward to a Pikmin 4, which they said is in development. They haven't said anything other than that. Also, I'd enjoy it if they announced an Animal Crossing too, because it's been a minute.
Yeah. I would definitely say 2 out of the 2 of us here are more of a Nintendo guy than I am. I don't have anything against Nintendo. I just like.
Well, the thing is, Nintendo is something you have to grow up on.
Yeah, I'm indifferent when it comes to modern Nintendo games. Generally, I like them, but I mean, I'm not like if 2 different, like, let's say a super anticipated console or PC game was coming out. By console, I mean PlayStation or Xbox One, and then there was a super anticipated Nintendo game. I'd be leaning towards the other one, the former, just because, like you said, I didn't really grow up with. Nintendo.
PS2 was your first console, right?
Mm-hmm.
My first console was the N64. My first 3 games were all Nintendo games.
Right,
I had.
Right.
I don't know which one I played first. I had Mario Kart 64, Mario Party 3, and Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Those are all Nintendo games, and I love all of them to death. Even though
I'm trying to think what my
Mario Party 3 is not considered the best Mario Party on the N64, but yeah, I kind of grew up with those games. Those were the first 3 I started with, and then I had like obviously the N64, so I played a lot of those games. I had a PlayStation 1, but I didn't have very many games on it, so I didn't grow very attached to PlayStation. And then I got a GameCube because me and Drew were like really close back then. He also had a GameCube, so I was like, oh, I'll buy a GameCube so I could be relevant with him, I guess. And we played a lot of Nintendo games, and yeah, that's kind of where it comes from me.
I don't know what my first games were. I remember playing ATV Off-Road Fury, I think, or something like that.
Never heard
Then
of
there
it.
was it's a very PS2 was the era of like a lot of games you never heard of, and then there was TAC 2, The Staff of Dreams.
Have that. It's a good one.
That's a really really fun game. I remember playing that again at your house, and the movement was really really hard. Like
Yeah,
it was like
dated.
delayed. But what else was there? There was
We should play the Great Juju Challenge, which is
first
technically the second TAC game. It's co-op though.
okay. I'm trying to think what else was there. Like what was there on the first? I mean, I remember eventually I ended up getting like San Andreas and like I got the Grand Theft Auto triple pack, Vice City, Liberty City, and 3 Vice City and San Andreas. I love San Andreas the most, but I remember, dude, when I got Hitman Blood Money for the PS2, it was like amazing graphics. I was like, dude, this is like lifelike. Like this is like oh my god, this looks amazing. But then as I kept playing, or of course, I mean, as time went on, it didn't really necessarily look as good. But I think. I don't know. I have to think about what my first game was. I really cannot pinpoint it.
I can't pinpoint it, but I know it was one of those 3. I think
Not Hitman. It wasn't Hitman. Hitman.
I know. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Kirby because that's a single player experience. There's multiplayer in it, but I'm sure because I think my sisters were the ones that were like, "Hey, let's get an N64." So my parents are like, "All right, here's an N64." So I'm pretty sure I probably either played Mario Party or Mario Kart with them first.
I will say for my first 3, no, actually for all my consoles, I've really got my money's worth because the PS2 was like the family's, but it just de facto became mine because I played it the most. I started buying stuff for it, and then we got a Wii, which we played a lot of. I remember I played Bully on there. Also, Bully was that's not one of the first games that came much later.
Yeah, but that's
on,
one of your favorites.
That is like one of my top 3 favorites. But I played it again on the Wii. I beat it. I think I'm not even kidding. I beat it at least 5 times on the PS2, and I think at least twice on the Wii. Like I loved that game. But anyways, and what else? At one point I was keeping track. But I played the Wii. I played the shit out of Guitar Hero 3: Legends of Rock. That would be one of my top 10s.
I feel like most everybody played the shit out of that game.
I love that game. I'm so good at it too for hard.
I love that game. I'm not good at it though. I don't know what my issue is. I can't. I remember watching you. The blue button. So like if I play on normal, the blue button fucks me up because I'll like lose my resting position, so I'll start pressing the wrong buttons, and it just goes downhill from there.
I remember we went to Five Below and they had the what was it, the
Guitar Hero Live
for $5 and the game. It came together. It was really funny.
It wasn't on any of the newer consoles though. It was on Wii U, 360, and PlayStation 3, and I was just like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get this on the Wii U. It's $5.
And then Drew and I played it, and Drew realized that when you put the controller together, you couldn't split the guitar once you put it in. Once you
like with the Wii guitars, you could like take the guitar splits in 2, and you can put it together. Then there's a thing you could press and pull it back apart. And we came back to my house, and Drew was like, "Oh, Drew like put it together thinking that it'd come apart because he was gonna put it back in his car and take it home, but it doesn't come apart."
Yeah, and he had to drive upstate.
He had to like take the whole guitar just like as it was like to his car. Like he couldn't put it back in the box because it wouldn't separate.
Oh my
kind
God.
of obnoxious.
That was something. I don't know. It's just I don't know if that game was even that great, to be honest. Like I think it's. I don't think it was that great of a game, to be honest, after playing it. Because we put in some time. I think we played for about an hour, right? I mean, we gave it a chance. We didn't just play it and put it down. Me personally, at least.
I haven't played it since.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I still have my box in my room I got to like throw out or do something with. I need to put it somewhere. It's just taking up space. But after playing it, I don't really like it at all. That game is supposed to be more realistic, like a normal guitar, because your fingers are moving up and down like you would a normal guitar. But it was really not fun. Just like going up and down. And it was really difficult compared to going for all 5s.
Also, my guitar had trouble staying connected.
Yeah, that was a really big. These were all new. I want to point that out. These were all new, and it was kind of annoying, to be honest. But once we got playing, I didn't really find it as enjoyable. And the whole live action thing was really like weird. Like we start off, a guy's doing a sound test with you. He's like, "Hold on, can you do a couple of frets for me or something?" And you like play like a little mini song, and he's like, "All right, yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Can you do it again?" And he keeps doing that, but it's all live action, and it's so weird. And it's just like, oh my God, I'd rather go back to those really potato-y graphics in the Wii, where like everyone looked really weird.
Yeah, I think the only Guitar Hero game that I remember being any good is 3. Yeah, all the other
yeah.
ones. I mean, I think it's
Aerosmith-
World Tour
Yeah, that
has
was like
a
the
couple.
last big one, right? Like that was like I
that
feel
one's
like that
on
was
the
a
Wii,
peak.
but that one has like a good
The
selection of
362
songs.
thing, but I think World Tour, in my opinion, that and maybe Aerosmith. I don't know if that came out before or after World Tour. I feel like that was the peak, and then it started like dying down. Like World Tour is a big deal. I remember a lot of people were excited for it. Then afterwards, it kind of just like started going downhill. I think it'd be much better if they started remastering some old games. Like I get a lot of people think that nowadays it's a lot of shooters, or it is. It's a lot of just sequels, constant sequels and all that. But I think
Duty.
yeah, but I think but I think it'd be a lot better if we started remastering the old games. Like people, they remaster some games that
disagree with that.
Well, here's the thing. Let me before you refute it, let me like say what I was gonna say. I just mean like there are a lot of good old games. And if they really, really want to remaster these games, whether or not it's just for money, like let's say they don't even care about the franchise, they just want more money, they know we'll buy it, like the Modern Warfare remastered. If they're going to remaster games, even if it's just for money, I wish they would remaster games that like people actually like liked back in the day. But it'd be really weird and specific. Like imagine, like no one's demanding a Blood Money remaster, but could you imagine if they did remaster that? That'd attract a ton of attention. Like that's what we want. Like, but it's a lot of like niche games.
My problem with remastering is they seem to only pick games that aren't even that old to begin with. Like I feel like you should go at least a generation behind the previous one. Like 360 PS3 games, they keep remastering those, and it's like those are still so current, and you could like buy those at like GameStop for like a couple bucks, and they remaster it for $60. But then there's I feel like they should remaster older games like with the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
Yeah,
that's like a PS1 game. That's been like gone for forever.
The only thing that I worry about though is that I don't like how sometimes like if it's like you said, Michael, where it's like they do it 2 generations behind. I worry though that they're not going to do so much of a remaster as they are just like retouching it up and re-releasing it. Like on the 360, or was the Xbox One was out when San Andreas got quote unquote remastered, right?
Wait, what? The Xbox One you said?
No, remember when San Andreas got released in the 360? It was like touched up.
Yes.
Okay. What I'm worried about was Xbox. First off, was the Xbox One out by then? It was, right?
I think it might have.
But what I mean is
on the horizon.
But what I mean, okay, regardless, what I'm worried about is just that if they try and do 2 generations behind, I'm worried that they're not going to actually like go super in depth with it. They're just going to like touch it up. Like imagine, okay, let's talk about right now. Rockstar was dead serious about remastering San Andreas. It would worry me because I don't think that they would make it look like next generation. They would just make it look more on par. But you know what I mean? Like it'd be more manageable. But I doubt they would recreate the entire game. But if you look at more recent games, I could see it being more like realistic that they would actually redo the entire game. But like if you're talking about a super old game, like that'd be like a monumental task, which I think they could do it. I think it's possible. It's just I feel like it's really unlikely compared to if the game was easier to redo if it was newer.
I mean, as long as the game's not a super huge game, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, but imagine that though. But think about how San Andreas compared to GTA 5 is small. Obviously, the map size and all that's a whole open world.
I mean, like
imagine, dude. But don't forget, technically San Andreas happens in the same area as GTA 5. Remember, Vinewood and all that. So they'd have to use a GTA 5 map and everything. Or I mean, they couldn't just I think they would. I don't know. That'd be weird if they still did little islands. That'd be really small nowadays.
I thought. For the longest time, I was like, if a game's super big like that, they won't remaster it. And then here come Bethesda to prove me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, hey, here's Skyrim remasters.
But
I was like, how about we work on Elder Scrolls 6?
That's a perfect point for what you just said, right? You don't like newer games. Like, they've remastered... Okay.
They've remastered Skyrim too many times, and I'm pissed about it.
They've remastered Skyrim, but it's not really remastered. Like, I remember watching a video about the remaster. I think it was like a review copy or something, and then one of the top comments was, now show me the remastered version, because it didn't look different. It really doesn't. I'll openly testify that on the Xbox One, it doesn't stand out to me. Like, it's not like, wow, this game looks amazing. It's just like, oh, yeah. I mean, it's a little the lighting's a little better here.
Yeah, like they released that, and I was like, I'm not gonna.
I like
that.
Skyrim. I spent 7th grade. No, wait, yeah, 7th grade is when it came out. That was 2011.
That wasn't 7th grade.
For me, it was.
I feel like it was 8th grade for us.
I remember the table out.
It came out at the same time Modern Warfare 3 came out.
12 to 13, I was in 9th grade. So 2011,
I
2012,
remember
I was in 8th grade.
I felt like
No,
we were in 8th grade. Because that's when we started playing
8th grade.
Xbox Live a lot together.
But 8th grade, so then the summer, it was that summer. The summer of 2012, I believe, was when I played Skyrim a lot. Like, I mean, like, that was like my game. So
yeah,
I
like
liked
you
the
got
game,
that for Christmas, and you kind of sat on it for a moment, and then you
no,
went all out.
No, I sat on it for like 6 months because I thought it was really difficult. I was scared to play it, like, because I was terrible at it, and I just didn't know anything because everything was new, and that's what I miss about Skyrim. Skyrim had one of the best factors of the game being new and you not knowing how to play. So once I got into it, though, I bought the strategy guide, which I see you have right there.
It's a good game.
I was just freaking out. But
for.
the problem is that I have with it now. I don't mind buying. I'm not gonna buy it on the Switch because I feel like that would drain the battery way
I'll
too much.
buy it on the Switch as soon as they lower the price on the Switch.
Did you have an Xbox One?
No.
Oh.
What I was gonna say earlier is like they released it on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy that. And they're like, it's also coming to the Switch. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll buy that.
See, for me,
I think it'd be cool to just play wherever.
I bought Skyrim on the PC just because, I mean, I don't know, it was cheap and all that. But excuse me, the problem I have with playing Skyrim on the PC and kind of on the Xbox One, but not to the same degree, is that I'm not really I'm not sucked into it. Like on the 360, because I've already done everything, so I can't take it seriously. Like when I start a game on the PC, like I can never seriously say I'm gonna sit here for a couple of hours and play this. I just start it, play for 10 minutes. I'm like, this is gonna take too long to get into it. I'd rather play something else, and I just close it. But on the Xbox One, though, I guess because it's like the same kind of like environment, I just I'm used to playing on a console with it. I can actually take it seriously. I spent a lot of time on that game already. I have a ton of time on it. But you know what ticks me off? Not much of shifting a topic, but in Skyrim, they have the Bethesda Creation Club, not Creative Club, Creation Club, and I didn't really care about it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But you remember that big controversy about them making people pay for mods?
Yeah.
So basically, before you could go on there and download any type of mod you wanted, and there was like hundreds and hundreds of mods. Now, if you go on there now, from what I remember seeing, there's like a limited number of mods. There's what it looked like 20 mods, if that. They're all, whether or not they were official or Creation Club official, meaning they might have been like a little better made than like the other mods. All the mods are just aesthetics, as far as I can remember. I don't think there's any gameplay changing mods. Like, of course, there was a survival mode one, which was
there was
free.
one mod that was on there that almost made me want to buy it on the Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Did you hear about the Beyond Skyrim mods?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's almost like a DLC. Like the one they have out now, they're planning on doing a bunch of them, but the one they have out now is called Beyond Skyrim Bruma, which is in Cyrodiil.
Oh yeah,
which is part of which is part of the Oblivion game, and I love me some Oblivion, so
my problem,
so I kind of wanted to like play that.
My problem is though is that
it looked really cool.
The mods used to be a bunch of like mods, actual mods, not just little like trinkets you could download. They were actually like really really cool. I remember they'd add equipment, they'd add a bunch of like there was an alternate start. You remember all that stuff? But it's like they've removed all of that, and they just want you to put on stuff on the Creation Club that's like generic, almost like little DLCs. Like, pay the equivalent of $2, but whatever, the Creation Club points for this set of armor and stuff like that. But it's like, what happened to the actual like mods? Like, let me have an alternate start. Let me go to like what you said.
Where's my Macho Man Randy Savage Dragon?
No, seriously though, you know what I mean? It's really annoying, to be honest.
That mod was really funny to me. The Macho Man Randy Savage Dragon just put his head on top of a dragon, and there he was.
Yeah,
that's all there was to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just checking my phone here.
Were you looking up a picture of the thing?
Of what?
You were just talking about some of the mods being really shitty.
Oh, no. Well, I can look it up. I was just getting a text. So my car wouldn't start, and Michael had to drive me to his house. My dad was asking me to go back to Meyer and start the car again.
Well.
Yeah. But anyways, hold on just a sec.
So he just expects me to drive you to Meyer.
He asked if I could ask you, but we can. It's fine.
Tell your dad I said to blow it out your ass. Not just kidding. I love you, Dad. Give him 2 kisses for me.
But what I was saying, yeah, the mod system is just it's ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it sounded cool, but it doesn't really seem like there's that many modders, I guess you could say, putting forth an effort to make cool mods.
Well, they were, but now you can't get them because of the freaking Creation Club. They're all... Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can actually find it, because it's really stupid.
Oh, also, I'm pretty sure you can't do mods at all on the PS4, which is kind of shitty.
PS4 seems like it's the short end of the stick all the time. They have, 1 gig for mods, but Xbox One...
I don't think they have any gigs for mods.
Xbox One gets, I think, 5 gigs. Why hasn't Minecraft gotten any mods?
Yeah, they were talking about that a while ago. I remember, back when we used to play Minecraft a whole lot, we're just like, oh, when are they going to put the mods forth? When are they going to put the mods forth?
Yeah.
And now we're just, over Minecraft, and we don't even care anymore.
But if they had mods, it'd be cool. That'd be really,
really
really
cool.
So I'm on the website right now. I'm looking. I don't really see, though. It doesn't list anything. I mean, I'm on mobile, of course, but I'm trying to see if they can show me something. Explore mods. Because it's just, it kind of made me put on the game a little bit. I wasn't really that interested after that. But, yeah. It was something. But Fallout 4, I don't know if they've done the same. Fallout 4, at least, I'd be interested in.
I haven't played Fallout 4 since they introduced the modding thing.
Fallout 4, to be honest, I'd be more okay with just weapons than I would be, on Skyrim. I don't know. I don't like that on Skyrim. I like that on maybe Fallout, because it's just, it's a little bit more understandable, I guess, but... Because, it's just Skyrim, you want to explore the world. You want more role-playing. Fallout, you want to kill stuff. So if you get more guns and stuff, it's okay, that's cool. But it's I don't know. It's just, it kind of ruins it a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know why they haven't put anything for Minecraft out yet. And Microsoft owns Minecraft now. They have, free reign pretty much.
Yeah, I haven't paid too close attention to Minecraft, but it seems like they stopped updating that game as frequently, which is kind of upsetting.
Think so?
Yeah, because I feel like, when would you say we stopped playing it?
Probably last year, right?
Yeah,
I
feel like we stopped playing it
2017.
I feel like we stopped playing it mid 2015.
I thought it was 2017. I was saying last year's in 2016, but yeah, I would
say
no.
Okay. I retract my statement then. Probably mid 2016 then.
Yeah.
So when we kind of stopped playing as much.
We used to play pretty not religiously.
We used to play a lot. We had this dope ass world we called the Continent World.
Yeah, where we had our own countries and stuff, and we've had that world for a long time. We actually we had that world since the 360, and it went with us for a long time. It's on the One now, and we went to war with our friends here and there, but I don't know.
I think we started that in the summer after 9th grade, and
yeah.
Now we're graduated from high school, and you're a sophomore in college?
Yeah, and we still have the world. We go on there occasionally. I mean, it's really rare we go on there now, just because it's more so the fact that we don't have as much drive to go on there because there aren't many people. When we originally had the world, it was me, Michael, our friend Alston,
Joe.
And Donovan, Joe,
Christopher.
Maybe Marissa, maybe not Marissa.
No, Christopher. Marissa wasn't in the question.
Christopher. There's a lot of people. Donovan dropped out of the whole thing. He just wasn't there really. And then it was Christopher. Christopher was there. Christopher was our last standing hope. But slowly, Joe faded out of the picture. And then we just took over Alston because he said
he never came on the world. Also, he had a really small country anyway.
And he said that he was waiting for what was it? He was waiting for creativity or something like that.
No, he was waiting for it to be put on the Xbox One.
No, but once it was on the Xbox One, he said he was waiting for
inspiration,
something like that. Yeah, so he decided why don't we just take him over? So we got him on there, and he made a big structure on top of his house, and we shot him with arrows. And
then he fell off and died, and then it was a struggle of him trying to get back to his stuff from the center of the map, which was Joe's country, and then he'd have to run through my country to get to his country.
And then finally,
it was a hot mess.
Christopher's technically still in the world, but
Christopher was also there during the battle. He wasn't participating. He was just a bystander.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, guys, stop the violence. What's going on? Stop."
No, wait, was he there?
He was. He was there. He was just spectating the whole time.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's he's in the world, Michael, but maybe not for a long while. Maybe he'll be out of the world.
Are you saying
soon.
we should get back into some Minecraft?
I don't know, Michael. But
shake some things up.
I also remember for some reason Christopher just gave me half of his land that he was allocated. Mind you, on the 360, it was only one map big, so we didn't have like on the Xbox One we could have a max of 6x6 maps. But now on the Xbox 360,
I don't even
previously
remember what land was originally his that he gave
previously
you.
on the 360, me and Christopher pretty much had the right side of the map. Pretty
I
much
was
the right
kind of
side.
off on a remote
Yeah,
island.
Michael, imagine this: if there's a square, Mike was the bottom left, kind of. Joe originally had the biggest freaking country, the center. Me and Christopher had the right hand
country
side.
of cave people is
Yeah,
what it was.
Me and Christopher had the right hand side, and randomly Christopher was like, "Hey, you can have half my country if you want. I don't want all that land." So I'm like, "Okay." So actually, it was really fun because for the longest time, it was really me and Michael, maybe Christopher. Christopher was there for a good portion of it. He was there for the beginning.
Yeah,
And
then Joe would
I'm
pop
just like,
on,
yeah,
and
Joe-
he'd do his daily suicide.
Joe didn't have any food, so he kept starving to death. So when he was low in health, when he was starving to death, he would just jump off something and kill himself. Also, for the longest
So it
time,
would be
he
like-
camped in my country. He's like, I'm just camping in this cave or something, and I see a light in the distance. Like, Joe, you are in my land. Like
He
yours is
wasn't that
across
far
the
away
river.
from your base either, like where you had your base of operations.
And I'm like, you are across the river, Joe. Like, get out of here. But then I remember.
I just remember it being like dead quiet, and then out of nowhere, you just see like at the bottom of the screen, Sergeant Smitty has like killed himself or fallen off something, and we're just like, "You all right there, Joe?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I ran out of food."
I remember my happiest two big accomplishments for me in that. One was I randomly decided to build a pyramid. My other one was nobody believed me, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna mine this desert out. I'm gonna mine this entire
you
desert.
said that backwards. You mined the desert out, and you're like, "What am I gonna do with all this sand?"
Oh yeah.
So now
And
I'm
then
gonna build
I
a
have a
pyramid.
huge pyramid. I think it's like 1/4 the size. It's really the building limit wouldn't let me build the correct height. But I remember like basically on the 360, of course. Now on the Xbox One, there's like 2 or 3 other. I still have like the biggest desert in the world. But I think there's a single desert. I think up north. It's smaller, but I don't want to take for my own desert because I want to build on it.
There's a couple deserts. I have a desert now.
Oh, okay. But for the time being on 360, I controlled pretty much all the world's sand. Like of course, from beaches and all that, you could easily get sand. But I had the most sand. So what I did was, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So eventually, I just like I started like partitioning it off in like kind of like squares, and I would just sit there, and it'd be me, Christopher, and Michael for like hours, and I'd just be sitting there mining sand. And
I'm sure whatever I was
after-
doing wasn't interesting either. I'm sure I was mining out a cave.
And then what happened was
doing cobble.
eventually I would get it. I got all the sand gone. And I was like, wow. So I'm like, time for the sandstone. So I'd mine all the sandstone away, and I'm like, well, this is something. So eventually, what I ended up doing was I ended up getting a silk touch pickaxe one time or another, and I found the mushroom biome, and I got mycelium, the purplish dirt that like kind of like has stuff just like.
It's like purple grass.
Yeah, and it has like stuff floating up all around it. So I started placing dirt on every piece of stone in so basically so you couldn't see any stone, so it looked more natural. And I placed mycelium, and the mycelium would turn the dirt into mycelium, and then next thing you know, the entire desert is gone, and I just have like mycelium and mycelium biome. Sadly, no mushroom spawn there though. So that kind of sucks. But I mean, it was pretty cool. That was a big accomplishment for me. So while Michael was building like his lame like 3 cities, I mined out a desert.
I have 4 cities.
I have 1, 2.
One of the cities is underground, to be fair, so it's not very visible.
Man, Michael's a nuclear bunker. I remember I made a TNT cannon
Two.
across Christopher's country. I remember. I have
Do you
a cannon ready
do
to
you
shoot at him.
remember when you got upset because you died and lost your silk touch pickaxe, and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take over Joe. He hasn't been here for
Oh
a really long
yeah.
time. I'm gonna take his country over.
yeah. So we're on the continent world, and we were on the continent world, and I was mining. And I think I was mining diamonds and all that, and I died, and I just silk touched, and I was so angry. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I'm gonna take over Joe. So I walked over. I think I destroyed his flag, and I'm like, this is mine now. This castle is mine. I didn't take over his entire landmass. We kind of choose as a spawn area, but the castle inside the landmass, I'm like, this is mine now. I'm taking it.
Then we renamed his country like Neutralia.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, and then there's Christopher's.
And then Christopher's friend Joe came into the mix, and I gave him a small part of my country in the
God.
way off corner of the map.
And he's like, I built a castle already. I'm like, wow, you built a castle already? And we go look at it. It's the shittiest little castle in the
It's
world.
literally like paper thin walls,
God,
like one block.
It was terrible.
Thin walls,
God.
and like it was all underground based. And we're just like, this isn't a castle at all, really. But whatever you say. And I remember like you kept doing deals with him to get him to do your labor, and he'd have to travel travel all the way across my country.
Because at this point,
get
guys,
in a boat and go
at
to
this
your
point,
country.
at this point, the map we're on the Xbox One. It's 3x3 maps, so there's 9 total maps. I was in the center map and also in the right middle map. Okay, so I was in the pretty much the right middle of the whole map. Joe was the bottom left. So he had to travel really far, and there's water between us. There's a ton of water, so he had to go really slowly to get to me.
Water wasn't the obstacle. There was quite a few mountains between him and
then Christopher and Alston got the pretty
I didn't
shit.
have, for the longest time, I didn't have a road to like anywhere in that part of my country. Later on, I got a road to like this new castle I built that's pretty baller looking. So like he just had to travel up to that road. Actually, no. I made a road pretty much almost all the way to his country at one point, but before that, he kind of just had to like travel through the wilderness and pray to God that there was a safe path for him to travel. But
Yeah.
I know he had to travel through this swamp that always had like this fucking death squad full of like mobs that every time I'd travel through it, like I'd almost die because there's just so many like monsters.
Yeah, gosh.
I know he had to travel through that in order to get to you.
I remember also, I was doing the, not really math, but I was trying to figure out how many blocks you had to place on the ground to make a pixel on the map. And I think it was like 9 by 9 or something. But I had a big grid laid out with torches, and I let Alston, who didn't have a country at the time, stay on the island I made. And he fucked up all the torches and put them in a line. I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? I'm like, get out of here. You're not staying in my country anymore. Go somewhere else. And he made I don't think he was happy. Well, he wasn't like angry. He was confused. He's like, why does it matter? I'm like, I had it all laid out perfectly. But then he
to be fair, that was a weird thing for you to get mad about. And then
I had it all in particular. That's like coming in. Imagine if I started rearranging your games you have over there. Like
I'd be a little bit mad, but that's not torches.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. It's not torches. Torches laid out the what each square was and stuff like that. It's a big deal, Michael. That's a big deal. All right.
All I'm saying is I'm not saying you're wrong. Also not particularly saying you're right.
I really wish we would get back into that because there's a lot of pretty stuff. We wanted to port the world over to the what was it?
PC.
The PC. Yeah, the PC, but I think it's possible, but it's just kind of difficult in general. But the problem that people were talking about was that the Xbox version is written in C++ and the PC version is written in Java. So just fundamentally different languages. I don't know if it'd be that simple to convert the worlds over. But more on a different topic altogether. I backed this game, Dual Universe, in 2016. And I think you had to pledge like $20 or $30. I'm like, it looked really cool. But basically the big thing about it was, excuse me, was that
you're excused.
The big thing was
no, get out of my house,
Michael. You said I was excused.
No, leave.
You have to. You're my ride though.
No, I want you to walk home.
Michael, let's go.
Do you remember that part where you said you'd get a bus to show up to my front door? Do it.
No, you have a bike. I'll ride your bike.
I don't have a bike. What do I look like?
You don't have a bike?
I don't have a bike.
What American doesn't have a bike?
Any
Alston?
American who has a car.
Alston's got a hearse though. I'll call Alston.
Alston, can you drive me in your hearse, please?
But anyways, what was I
I'm gonna stop you right there.
You have something to say?
No, I just wanted to stop you.
Okay. Well, anyways, the game Dual Universe I backed was basically supposed to be a mix of like Minecraft, Space Engineers, and Eve. Each of those have their own like little thing. Like Minecraft's like crafting and mining mining the environment, and Space Engineers is like building scientific stuff and mining the planets and flying. And Eve is like combat and an economy. So if you combine all those together, you get like a game that Dual Universe hopes to be like, where you can mine the environment and have organizations, which are big in Eve, have a economy and all that. And I'm really annoyed because they haven't really said much news about the release date or anything like that. Like you can't talk about the pre-alpha, which is what I was lucky enough to get into from backing it because it's under an NDA, which I'm not going to talk about. But they haven't really given any news, as far as I can remember, as a release date. I think it might be sometime in 2019. But it's just been annoying me, mainly because it's like they don't really... The thing that's been bothering me is that they announced the game, I think, way too early. They announced it in 2016, and I think they're talking about 2019 for a release date. And it's like, that's 3 years later. Because they just now let people into pre-alpha a few months ago. They announced it publicly. And I'm like, if they announced pre-alpha like now, for instance, and then the release date was going to be next year, even in the fall, so over a year from now, that would be okay. But it's going to be 3 years. Like, and it's like, I feel like a lot of people, including myself, have lost interest in the game because it's just like the game isn't even out yet, and there's all this arbitrary politics going on in the Discord servers between different organizations. And my organization, I mean, has politics too and stuff, but it's just really annoying because it's just, there's no physical game, and a lot of people are taking it too seriously, or they're just getting all worked up or nothing. They're getting their orgs all filled with positions and stuff, which, while it's cool in theory, like, oh, we have a minister of this and a minister of that, and we have members in our ministries. It's like, there is no game. You're not gonna have like another stable game for a while. Like, it's just I don't know. It's annoying. But I guess I can talk about that some other time because I've been getting way too off topic. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to get that off my chest.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah. I guess we're going a little over.
I guess we could talk about real quick. Maybe not real quick. You playing anything interesting lately?
I have been getting back into EVE Online. Definitely been trying to do that. I actually lost some money recently. Real quick, I just want to say that game's a lot of supply and demand, right? So I bought this one thing that I wanted to sell, hopefully for some extra money. I bought it for 100 million in-game currency, 100 million ISK. I spent like 20 minutes getting to this other location, sell it, realize it was the wrong item that I bought, and I lost 50 million ISK. So I was very unhappy, but I haven't really been playing much at all except that. So what have you been playing?
I've been playing a couple games. I mean, both of us have a YouTube channel. We talk more about that at the end before we close up. But on my YouTube channel, I just started playing Oblivion, and also there are a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, but I've been playing a lot of it off camera too. Been playing a lot of The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. It's like a dungeon crawler. It's really fun. I just recently started getting better at it, and I might record some more videos of me playing the game now that I'm better at it. I just recently beat like one dungeon run, which is about 5 floors, and you have to fight your mom. Do you know what the game's about at all?
I do. I remember you telling me that. I did watch the ending, I think so. I know that you fight your mom at the end.
It's about
you're in your dungeon,
your
or
mom's
basement,
trying to kill you, so you like find this secret basement in your house, and that's pretty much the dungeon crawling part. You're in this basement, and at the end of the dungeon, at the end of the 5 floors, you fight your mom.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's pretty tough. It's really fun. Been having a lot of fun playing that.
I think I'm gonna be trying to get into Skyrim again. To be honest, I'm gonna give that a try if I have time tonight as well. But.
And I also briefly started playing Deus Ex: Human Revolution.
Wait, is it the one that just came out?
No.
Oh, okay. I just bought that too. I haven't played that though.
I think you're thinking of Mankind Divided.
Yeah, that's what I bought.
I was kind of upset about it because I thought it was a third-person game, but it's like first-person. But if you go into cover, it's third-person. It's interesting. I have to dive deeper into it, but I'm just playing a little bit of that.
For Deus Ex Mankind Divided, they had like a 12-minute video beforehand explaining everything. I got through like I think 4 or 5 minutes of it, and I was just so bogged down. I'm like, I'm gonna have to skip this. I'm sorry, but that and one game I'd like to take a look into is Battlefront 2. But if it goes on sale or something, because that game looks gorgeous, like eye candy.
Yeah, and I've been playing a little bit of PUBG
here
and there with the boys. Haven't played it with you yet, though.
I think I played one match with you, didn't I?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
That's about it. We should wrap it up. This has been the Sidenote Podcast.
Episode 1. Hopefully, many more episodes to come.
Chris, where else can they find you? I mentioned you have a YouTube channel.
I do have a YouTube
talk
channel.
About that briefly?
I have been a bit inactive lately, but my YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/DasMusemeister. I just play really anything, whatever comes to mind. But like I said, I haven't really been active the last couple of, I would say, months really, because of school and stuff like that. But hopefully eventually I can get back into it, maybe this summer or something. But where can they find you, Michael?
I also have my YouTube channel. It's Nictopluvo. Yeah, as I said, I've been playing Binding of Isaac on there. Just started playing Oblivion. I have some Worms, Fort Under Siege videos with my boy Drew. And of course, with Chris over here, we got my Time Splitters videos, which are coming out pretty much every Friday until we finish Time Splitters 2. It's a really fun game.
We collaborate regularly.
I enjoy playing it. And it seems like a lot of people enjoy watching it. What did you just say?
I enjoy dying and losing.
Oh, I thought you said I don't enjoy playing it.
Oh, no.
But yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. I also have a shitty review channel called Reviews.
Yeah. Oh, you really want to sell that?
I'll just throw it out there. There's a whole one battery review video on there. It's a channel where I review anything and everything. Gotta put more videos out on it though. But yeah.
That's it. All right.
Thank you, and
we'll see you later.
Thank your mother, kiss her twice. Goodbye.
Bye.